All right, welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. On Tuesday's show, we mentioned... On Tuesday's show, we were to speak with Joshua Walcott. Of course, he is the Jamaican, well, the Barbadian athlete, their 2017 national champion, who alleged that he was assaulted at his club's housing facility in Kingston, Jamaica. Of course, he trains with the Legacy Athletics Club, a newly formed club, relatively new, launched in 2021 in Kingston. Now, he joined the group in April, but says life was made uncomfortable. And on Monday, the 19th of June, he was attacked by 4 of his training mates at the club's housing facility. Walcott, who won the Barbados National 400 title in 2017, says he reported the matter to the police. He's now back home contemplating next steps. We promised to have him on Tuesday's show, but he was unable to join due to unforeseen challenges, but joins us now to shed light on his ordeal. Joshua Walcott, it's a pleasure to have you on the SportsMax Zone. First of all, how are you doing?
Tonight, I'm not doing too bad. I'm still recovering from the injury. Hopefully I'll be back for nationals, but I will not be 100% for nationals just because of the incident.
Can you tell us, can you describe the nature of the injuries that you sustained?
It's a muscle spasm on the lower back area. So I had like a soft tissue injury on the lower back, and for the inside was swollen. So now it gone down a little, but I still got these bruises on it. So to compete, it'll be difficult to compete for next weekend because of the injury. So more concerns now of the recovery stage.
So was this an injury, was this a fresh injury sustained, or was it an aggravated injury?
It's more a fresh injury because this is the first time I'm feeling something in the lower, I get attack in the or get an injury in the lower back.
Okay, so take us back to June 19 then, and what really happened? Because that's the question that many individuals have been asking, having heard this story. What happened?
The incident occur. I would say it was a build-up because I went training that Monday afternoon. I went training, and based coming on the training center, I turned up on the training, and the guy's behavior for me was not professional, so I was getting a little fed up of it. So I chose to train by myself because I was indecisive of leaving the club. So I chose to train by myself on that particular Monday evening. But the guy is never comfortable with it and stuff. So there was a bit vexed of it. So based on my way back home, I stop off the supermarket and stuff, I get a grab a couple of stuff. And when I get home now, the guy was already home. So while I walked past the guys in the house, I went straight to my room, which I was like a patio I had, like a patio. So I just went straight there and sit down with the phone. So when I sit down with the phone, I was texting, and that's when the 4 guys approach. So when they approached me now, it was not them approaching in a way to say they want a good conversation. They approach in a way that is anger. So when I see guys approaching with anger, I get a little timid. So I was like, necessarily the anger, me see them had, I don't know how them get to that level with the anger, because I was ignoring them. Based on the conversation, I was ignoring them because I don't want to hear nobody telling me such. So I just ignored the conversation and just stay in my zone. So based on staying in my zone, the guys was vexed and stuff. So when I see them start to see some words that wasn't called for, so I was like, yo, I ain't come here for that and stuff. I ain't come here to be, you understand? I ain't come here to be in this type of atmosphere and stuff like that. So I ignored them more. And the more they was talking, I was still ignore. And it get to a point that I just tell myself, me call coach because it getting too out of hand. So I decided to call the coach at that particular time, but the phone never ring. So when I see the phone never ring, I just went on safe self-defense mode, which means I will voice record. So I clicked on a voice record when I saw these guys building up some heat and tension. So I was like, guys, you first start put words in people's mouth and things that me never said. You can't be doing them things. Then there was like, tell coach about the training. So in the voice note, I was like, coach, you know, me come training today and me never like how the guys display. So I decided to do my own training because me fed up the club. So at the same time now, I said that. I said, you don't know what I got to go through. And then when I say that is when I get a kick right in my back. And I was like, whoa. And I couldn't believe because I was in shock. So when I get the kick, now I give me neck get grab, I was catching for breath because I couldn't breathe. So when I finally get out of the lock is when I rush to the door before any of the guys try to launch them attack at me. So I get to the door and that's when I call the 911 call at the time. And I was in one of them modes that I was timid and traumatized because I couldn't believe that these guys were really trying to come at me like that. So I was kind of shocked about it and stuff. So it was not easy. So on the 911 call, I couldn't remember the lady name at the time because my mind was not there. So when all I was saying was, I want to get home, I want to get home, I want to get home. I don't feel safe at the house. I don't feel safe at the house. I need to get out of here. And I was planning to leave to go to a friend's house at the time. And the lady was like, no, the officer was like, no, it's too late to do that. It's too late to leave. And I was like, no, I can't stay here because I don't feel comfortable sleeping tonight here because I don't know who will take me out. So she was like, where the coach is? I was like, he's not here, he's overseas. So she was like, where the manager? I was like, oh, he's overseas. So
Joshua, did the officers come to the house on that night or was this a telephone conversation?
It was a telephone conversation.
So the officers never turned up at the facility?
No, the officer turned up. I thought it was an officer drive by, but it was a killer car, the security patrol car that drive by. That's later down in the night when everything was calmed down and stuff like that. But that was nothing to do with the incident.
Yeah. So following that incident, you left Jamaica a few days after. You said you went to stay with a friend. And then by the Thursday, you were back in Barbados. Is that correct?
I was leaving to go back in Barbados on that because the flight got delayed on the Thursday. The flight got delayed because of the hurricane in Barbados, the storm.
Yeah.
So I had to sleep by the airport at that particular time. So I sleep at the airport for like 2 nights. And the Saturday, I moved off and went to a guest house to get a comfort sleep because the AC was too cold and it was like at my back.
And then you were back in Barbados. What I'm trying to get at here now, did you have conversations with the club management or coaching staff between leaving the housing facility and getting back to Barbados, which would have also been the period that this story would have come to public attention with an article in the Star newspaper here in Jamaica?
Well, I would say I speak to the coach. I was speaking to him about the situation and how I feel and what I'm going through. So I was telling him about the attack and stuff, and he was still trying to find out what really went on, or he was hearing what I have to say. So to me, I was like, this coach doesn't believe what I have to say, or believe what I have to tell him.
So I'm trying to understand. You made the club aware immediately after the attack happened, or within good time?
Same there because the coach was on the phone while I was on the phone with the officer. He was on the phone with the guys. So I assume these guys that tell him about the attack is when he tell me the morning time when I was fed up because that time I think when I get the phone from the guys, he was like, yo, me hear you left the club. Me hear you got some bad things about the club. So I was like, coach, what you talk about now? Me just get attacked from the guys and this is the first question you asked me. So I was kind of shocked.
And when was this conversation?
That was the same night of the attack.
Okay. Yeah. And that's when you told the coach of the attack that night.
That night is when I told him about the attack, because he was the first person to get the voice note.
Yeah.
He was the first person to get the voice note I had with the attack.
Yeah. Let's fast forward a little, because we don't have much time, but can you explain to us what the latest is on this situation? What type of conversations have you been having with the club and the club's management, coaching staff, etc.?
As far I was having a decent conversation for the past 2 days with him when it comes to arrangement and discipline. But when he said that what I want to...
Explain to us who he is. We're not sure who he is.
Okay, Omar, the coach, head coach, Omar.
Okay. Yeah.
So when I was speaking to him, he was discussing in a proper manner about the incident. So he was saying he was sorry about it and stuff, and the unruly behavior from the guys, he was sorry about it and stuff, and it had happened to me like that. And in the conversation, I was coming to some terms, to feel some satisfied terms, as in what I want from the club to deal with the guys. So in the conversation, it was like, we can discipline them, we can ban them guys, and somebody can pay the medical bill. But the next day I speak to the coach, it was like, I didn't say as such. I didn't say I can ban all 4. So I was like, so what are you going to do with the other 3? Because they was still a part of the instigation of the attack, because of all 4 being there, I was timid because I couldn't move and my life was in risk at that time. So I was like, suppose I die that there. What measures?
So you're saying, in terms of the assault, only one of the athletes actually physically harmed you?
Harm me. Is when I get weird. I get weird because I don't know who else would attack, because all 4 was already in attack mode. It's just that particular guy get me before any 4 get there on me.
So is it that you're not satisfied with what the club is doing to rectify this matter?
Yeah, so as I said, I leave everything in the law hand and do it the proper way and the professional way, is let the law do what they have to do when it comes to this case. So I just leave the case in the law hand and let them do their job.
Any updates from the police?
Yeah, the officers. And listen.
Have you gotten any update from the police?
I didn't get no update as yet, no clear update from Officer Anderson as yet, but they are looking in the investigation for now. So I just waiting to hear what decisions the police will be taking in this action.
And yeah, Joshua, we are sorry to hear of your ordeal, and sorry to hear that, of course, you're still suffering with the effects of whatever damage would have been caused by the hit that you got on the 19th, and we hope that you will be able to work things out with the club, and as you said, you leave it in the hands of the law at this stage. So we hope that you will get well soon, and we're sorry to hear about this situation. Thanks very much, Joshua Walcott, for joining us on the SportsMax Zone, and we'll be tracking this one to see how it all ends up.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, 2017 400 Barbadian national champion Joshua Walcott. We take a break. We'll be back on the SportsMax Zone.